All right, this is gonna be the checklist, but when you show up to the house, you typically see everything you need right here together, so it's really easy to remember everything you need. But just to kind of go through it, first thing you got here is gonna be the speaker, all right? There will be a tripod to go with that speaker so you can set it up. That tripod is gonna be in here with the barriers. So in this gray bag here, you're going to have this kind of baffle thing is what we call it, a baffle, I guess. That's to use, and I'll show it to you on the setup guide, to use behind the can to make the foam thicken, but that will be in there. Typically a banner for the kids to hold up when you can get the kids to hold the banner up. This is the tripod. The tripod goes to the speaker right there. And then you've got the handle, which has this little locking pin. You're gonna put this into the cannon, which I'll show you that in the setup video as well. All right, so all that's gonna be in there. You can see the barriers are in there. That goes around the front. So that's gonna be all typically inside this. In most cases, if it's not, and you don't see it in there, it might be in here. Someone might have put it there, but in most cases, it will be in this gray bag. All right, you're gonna see your tripod. You cannot forget this. That's obviously where the cannon goes on top of. Okay, you're gonna have a bucket, right? It's got a toolbox at the top. The main thing with this bucket is you've got a hose in here, and you've got some tools up here if you need them. Sometimes you will. The hose is for if you don't have a hose connected to where you're at and you need to connect a hose. It will allow you to connect directly to a house, a school, whatever. And it's got 100 feet to drag and start filling up your bin. A lot of times you don't need that because they have a hose already. In this, it's worth noting, since I mentioned school, schools typically don't have just a spigot you can open. You need to use a water key, I think is what we call it. It's a water key. You can see, you can kind of turn it based on the spigot. It's gonna open up that spigot. So if you get to a spigot and you're like, how does this thing turn on? There's no way to turn it on. It's typically because you're gonna need this, okay? That's gonna be at the top of the toolbox. And if it's tough and you need to get things, you need to get a hose off and it's kind of tough, you can wrench. For some of you out there, don't be afraid to ask your point of contact for some help from a maintenance person or them if it's really tough to get off. But I also have WD-40 in here as well if you need to switch out hoses. This is all just kind of like just in case stuff. Probably don't need it, should be good to go. But that's all kind of in this bucket. And I put it in a bucket too because a bucket is helpful. Sometimes emergency situations, you need to like add some water to it, whatever. I have had one scenario where I had to take water from a place and dump it in here because the hose wasn't working great. So it's just good to have a bucket. All right, on top of that, you've got a sub pump. So your sub pump's here, right? You got your hose connected to it, ready to go. That's gonna be in there. You got your cord reel, right? 100 feet of cord, at least I think 100 feet, but I always just tell people they gotta be within 100 feet of electricity. You're gonna have typically 2.5 gallons. You can kind of see how much you have depending on what I'll leave for you, but that's 2 gallons. I'll put it up to almost from here, so 2.25-ish gallons of solution. That gets poured in here at the measurements that I mentioned. It's just kind of like a quarter of this, or basically half a gallon to start, and then just little pours as you go. All right, this is obviously your bin where you fill the water up, and then you've got, well, give me a second. And then you've got your cannon, obviously here. And then lastly, if you want to take it, I do recommend taking this when possible. It's your wagon to go ahead and put this in first. It will fit in it once you open it up, and you can put everything in, and you can make it like a one-stop wonder, or one-trip wonder, or whatever you want to call it. So, all right, that's it. There is a tent available. A lot of you guys don't have stuff for a tent, so I'm not gonna go over the tent in this video. And I'll talk about the setup here next.